What's up, Tribal Acre fam? Welcome to another episode of Farming Land with Brand right here on Tribal Acres. So, on today's episode, we're going to be talking about barn cats and the importance of having them on your farm.
Here on Tribal Acres, here on Tribal Acres, here on Tribal Acres, here on Tribal Acres.
Okay, what's up, guys? So, we're going to be talking about barn cats today. Yes, barn cats. So, yes, we have 4 cats. Actually, hey, kitty, kitty. I'm missing my 4th one. She is somewhere around here. I'm not sure where she's at, but she's here somewhere, guys. I was just feeding her earlier. But anyways, she is the mother of these 3 kittens right here. This is right here. This is Baja. This is Olivia. And this right here is Shalissa. Shalissa is named after one of our first Yorkshires that we ever had. And she kind of inherited that name, as we did have to send her off to the processor. So we definitely want to keep her name alive in remembrance of an animal that'll always be here. So these, yeah, like I said, are the kittens of our mama cat, which is probably roaming around here somewhere, named Essie. Essie is short for Esther, so we went with Essie because we like that name. And when we first got these guys, they were kittens. They're pretty much full-grown cats now. They're still in kitten age. They've only been alive for probably around 6 months, I think, now. But they're full-grown. They're actually bigger than their mom. But for the first few months, we kept them in the back room back here, in our Florida room. And what the job of that is you keep them in a cage for the first I think it's not for a month or two, I'm sorry, for the first couple weeks. So for the first 2 weeks, you keep your cats in a cage, or in the room where they're going to know where food is at constantly, and where they know they'll always come back to eat and they know it's home. So unfortunately, we don't like doing it, but it's the only way of getting cats to realize what their homes are. So what we did was we had this floor room area in here. For the first week, we had them in a very large dog crate that we used to transport pigs or large dogs or whatever. So it's very big, and they were still drinking milk, and their mom was still breastfeeding, so of course they're drinking milk. But they were still really small, so they were really too young to release out here, and their instincts weren't just quite up yet to what they needed to be. So they were kept in the cage so they could learn where home was, so mom especially could learn where home was, so she didn't lead her kittens off somewhere. And then after the first week, we actually opened them up into the Florida room, because we don't have a barn, as you all know, currently. So although they're barn cats, they don't live in a barn, but they live out on the farm. So you have to have an area. If you don't have a barn, you don't have to have a barn to train them to live in a specific area. You just need to have some type of area where you can actually train them to, live and know where home is, where they'll always be fed. That is the most important thing. So that's what we did, was we kept them in the Florida room. And by keeping them in the Florida room, they learned where home was. So after about, I think we probably I waited, and because she had kittens, I waited about 3 weeks, and I only let Essie out. And I was letting Essie out onto the main farm for a couple hours a night, And then after those couple hours, I would bring her back inside, close the door, put her back in. As the dogs were getting used to her as well, it was important that we didn't leave her out all night, just in case the dogs tried to chase her or whatever. And they did actually chase her up this tree right here a couple times, and it had leaves on it at the time, but everything's dead now. That's what we did. So after 3 weeks, we let her come out a few hours a night, and then about a month in, the cats started getting a lot bigger, and we ended up releasing the kittens out with her for a couple hours a night. And then when we went to sleep, put them back up. Over that course of a couple weeks, the dogs got used to them. Burrow and JJ were the main ones always barking at him, but Kai and Bo would chase Essie a lot. And they would never try and, they would never, of course, be quick enough to get her or whatever, so she'd always climb this tree. And then I would discipline the dogs, let them know that this is my cat, my kitty. And we already did that beforehand, but sometimes they will chase them until they really get to know them. So after that, we started leaving them out all the time. And during the day was kind of the important part, as we would let them out during the day, a few hours at night. So we pretty much, this next step was this. I'm gonna tell you this step right here. So we let them out all day after the first, for only a couple hours, and that was the first one, right? So the next step was we let them out for a couple hours at night, and then all day. So during the day, Kai and Bo were in the house. JJ and Burrow are the only dogs out here on the farm. So that allowed them to be out during the day. They were learning the area. You kind of keep a better eye on them. You aren't worried about the dogs trying to get them, because during the day they're not as active as far as trying to bark at something that they know is always here. So we kept them on that process, and that was the next step we kind of went to with them. Then after that, we went into full-time. So we did pretty much, I guess you could say a 5-step system for the cats, which was, first step was stay in the cage for a week. Second step was let them out in the room for a week to 2 weeks, I say. And then third step is to let them out during the day. I would say you let them out during the day. Then you could put them up at night, or you want to skip the step of that. I think put them out during the day, leave them out during the day, a couple hours during the night, and then when you go to sleep, put them up. That way they are learning the process of knowing this is still home, but I'm outside, but I'm coming back in. So this is a place where I come to get my food. I also train them with the way I train all of our animals, and that is a call when they eat, and which you kind of heard me do at the beginning of the video, which I said, here kitty kitty. And when I say that, they know it's time to eat, and they all run no matter where they're at. They all come to the back door as long as they can hear me, and they're gonna come and eat. And this will be the same process that they'll be retrained in, not as heavily because they're already trained to the farm. But for about 2 weeks, when we build a barn, that is a process that they'll be trained to. And that will help them be able to, you know, learn that new area. So that was the process and steps we took. Now, you could say, what is the purpose for these cats being on the farm? So the purpose for these cats actually being on our farm is rodent control. Never been a real big cat guy. Always been a dog person. So wasn't wanting ever to get cats on the farm, but it's something that, you know, has to happen. And our rodent problem was getting worse on the farm. There was nothing stopping them really from coming on. The dogs would eat a few here and now and then and kill them, but it wasn't as heavily abundant as they need to. Plus, rats aren't naturally scared of dogs in a sense to where they'll flee from them. So we brought the cats in to control rodent issues on the farm. So they were here to control the mice rat population that would be eating feed from our feeders, killing our chicks. They will kill your chicks, and anything decently sized they will kill. So they were getting into the brooder, digging underneath the brooder, killing our chicks, and eating feed, which all adds up to costs. They're eating birds, which are profit. They're also eating feed, which is a cost to feed those animals. So now you're feeding multiple rats and mice, and the more they realize they're safe, the more they expand, the more they grow, and it was getting out of hand for us on the farm. So I brought these cats in to take care of that issue. And let me say, it was the best decision we ever made. Yes, so once we actually got these guys, I mean, the first night we actually started letting them all out. They each were killing at least one rat a night, or mouse, I guess you could say, in the first couple hours, right? So she got scared. Come here, kitty. Come here, Olivia. So for the first couple hours, they were at least killing each one rat or mouse a night. And then once they got into full time, all of the rodents realized that these cats were not leaving and they were here permanently. So it took about, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks of them being out nonstop, and our problem completely has almost ceased, I would say, fully. We don't see them when we come out at night. We were seeing even some during the day, but we don't see any during the day now. We see pretty much, I haven't seen one at night in probably like 3 weeks, and we've had these cats for probably almost 3 months maybe. I haven't seen any rat presence really, or mice present, any kind of rodent presence. They took care of it all. So these guys are the real deal when it comes to keeping rodents off of your farm, and they get the job done. They're actually really good with our chickens, our ducks. They don't attack them. They do chase a chicken here now and then, but they've never actually attacked one. And they do great with all the animals. Jack, our goat, they chill in his pen with him all the time, and he's not aggressive towards them, they're not aggressive towards him, and they do a great job, and they literally roam the whole farm. I've seen them in our farthest pasture away from where they stay. Mostly is Essie is all the way over there, and she'll be out in the pasture at night, even with some of the cows, hunting as well. So 4 cats has taken care of the issue. I think you could probably do with less depending on how big your property is, but like we're running 50 acres here, and they have kept rats and mice out of every area that need to be kept out of. They don't have any more holes. They're not burrowing in anywhere. They were burrowing in under the ground because there is burrowing rats. They're called Norwegian rats actually, and that's what was, you know, destroying stuff here for us. But man, these guys get the job done. Super happy you got them. So is there a necessity for your homestead or farm for them? Absolutely. If you don't have a farm and you just have a house on some land, and you having that problem with them in general, cats will take care of it. It's gonna work way better than having to work traps, buy traps, try and find ways. You're just gonna end up spending more money on it than you can, and then you end up falling in love with the cats anyways, because you know it just happens. And another reason why we also keep them in there like that is we train them to love attention, and they work just fine with being loved on and petted and everything else, just like our dogs, and they still do their job. So don't neglect your cat, don't neglect your dogs, but take care of them in the process of, you know, training them. It makes them also know that they want to be home because they know you'll come out and pet them. So that's why we have barn cats. That's why we got them. I want to introduce you guys to them. Essie's the only one I couldn't find. She's around here somewhere, but she looks a lot like Baja does. And I'm sure you guys will see her later on. So I'll see you guys next time right here on Tropical Acres. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. See you later.